Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I want to talk to you about some of the books that I've been reading and the books that I'm currently reading, and just really basically catch up on how I'm doing with Book Buddyathon Winter Bingo and also with my Magical Readathon TBR. So, one book that was hitting my Magical Readathon TBR for the first week was Hungry Hearts, which is edited by Elsie Chapman and Caroline Tung Richmond, and this is a collection of 13 short stories, but they're not unrelated. They're written by different authors, but they're each involving characters, young adult characters from this tiny place called Hungry Hearts Row, where there is a plethora of different food establishments, and there's all sorts of different stories in here. There's people coming to terms with grief, there is people coming to terms with sexuality, there is people coming to terms with their destiny and their passions. There's people coming to terms with all sorts of different things, and amongst that there is also this gorgeous interweaving of food and enjoying food and different cuisines from all over the world and different cultures, and I just thought it was really lovely. It was a really lovely collection. I loved how it was sort of interwoven, and how, although they're very separate stories, it was like seeing a snapshot. It was like walking down Hungry Hearts Row and dipping into each of these restaurants and having a little sort of sneaky peek into what is going on in the lives of all of these characters, and I really enjoyed it for that. There was a couple that I liked more than others. I really loved the final story, which was about this character that pops up through all the other stories, delivering these sort of pastries to people randomly in strange places. She sort of turns up when people need something and delivers these pastries, which then provide them with this sort of feeling or whatever it is that they need, really. If it's a bit of bravery, if it's resolve or strength. And it's this sort of magical, yeah, there's this sort of magical aura about this young girl who works for this bakery. So this young girl turns up at times when people need these pastries for whatever reason, and the final story is her story, but it's more than just her story. It's a story of her forming a relationship with someone from her past. We have a trans character, and I just thought it was really lovely, lovely how it was done. I really enjoyed this idea of these piñata cakes. There's something that, obviously being a mum, I'm quite aware of. That is the kids' chosen type of cake nowadays, the cakes that you cut open and sweets and things fall out. So I just thought that was a really lovely story. So overall, I think this ranged from 4 and 3-star reads, but there was definitely more 4-star short stories in there, so I would give this a really strong 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend it. Short story collections are really difficult for me, actually. Normally they would be 3 stars or below, and it's very rare that I give 4 or 5 stars to a short story collection, so I definitely recommend this one. So that finished my first week of the Magical Readathon, and then my second prompt, I've only got one prompt for week 2, which finishes tomorrow, and I think I can probably finish this one, and that is reading a Harry Potter book. I am partway through Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated edition. I think I'm going to finish this today. I've got a few chapters left, and I'm really enjoying digging back into this story. I sometimes struggle to admit this because I feel like if we're on BookTube we have to have read Harry Potter multiple times, but I have only read the series once. I've read the series once, and I've probably listened to it on audio a couple of times, and I've watched the films numerous times, but I'm really enjoying just taking it slow and starting from the beginning, and I'm going to read the whole series in these beautiful illustrated editions, and I'm really enjoying the illustrations. They just really add sort of an extra layer to the story. So this one is bound to be a 5-star, and I'm hoping to finish that today. And then that will leave me nice and clear for next week for the Winter Magical Readathon to find out what my prompts are for that. My gift book from the lovely Tracy from Flamingo Reads for Winter Bingo, one of the prompts is gifted, and we went out on a day out book shopping and she very kindly gifted me this one, which is 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. I wanted sort of a contemporary romance story, and this one is just so sweet. It's one of those stories where it's fairly predictable, but it doesn't matter. You know where you're going to end up, but it's the journey and the story that really sort of draws you in the characters. The basic premise is that we've got a girl and she is going to visit her family for Christmas, and she decides that she wants to go and see her boyfriend before she goes. This boyfriend she's had for a year. She overhears him saying that he wants to break up, and so she's obviously quite distraught. She goes to her family, and she's got this massive family. They're all very close and tight knit. They're always sleeping around each other's houses. There's cousins that she sort of grew up with and spent a lot of time with. There's sort of the next door neighbour boy. And they decide that over the Christmas period to take her mind off that, but also off her older sister who is pregnant and going through some problems. They're going to set her up on 10 blind dates. So 10 people in the family are going to get to pick a date for her with a surprise person and a surprise activity. And oh, the family dynamics in this are lovely. I love the way that they are with each other. I love the sort of grandma as this sort of matriarchal figure and how she fits into it all, and it's just so much fun. There's so many funny things in here. My favourite date was to do with bowling, and all of these bowling teams have these amazing names. I'm trying to find it in here. Yeah, so there was one team had a Game of Thrones theme for their dressing up. Then there's a team called Can't Believe It's Not Gutter, who like dressed up covered in butter which I just thought was hilarious. And then there was so many. There was pin ladies and tea balls, and the puns were just forever coming, and I just thought that was really lovely. I had to giggle out loud a bit at that. So this was just a really sweet, lovely story with a family at the centre, so I probably could have used it as the family story. It's not going to wow you with twists and turns, but that's not what I was expecting, and the journey is very sweet and lovely, and it's set at Christmas, so it was a really nice read, and I gave this 4 stars. So that is going to be my gifted book. So then I have got 3 more prompts left for my book Buddy-a-thon Winter Bingo. One is being filled with the new Christmasaurus book, which I'm reading and listening to on audio with Matilda, so we're really enjoying like a couple of chapters a night of that, so I'm thinking that'll be finished by next week, and we're thoroughly enjoying doing that together. I am just 1 chapter into Funny Flags, A Redbird Christmas, which I'm looking forward to getting stuck into today. I'm going to go to a coffee shop. I'm about to have all my hair cut. I haven't decided what I'm doing to it yet, but I'll come back and show you later in this video. And yeah, so I'm going to take myself to a cafe and have coffee, and I'm going to read some of this. I'm also going to take with me my last book for the book Buddy-a-thon TBR, and that is The 12 Birds of Christmas by Stephen Moss. This is a non-fiction story talking about sort of 12 birds. It says, playing on one of our best known carols, The 12 Days of Christmas, naturalist Stephen Moss tells the enthralling story of 12 iconic British birds. So I think I'm going to read two birds a day for 6 days and try and get this finished by next Friday. I'd really like to get all of my Book Buddy-a-thon bingo finished by next Friday, which leaves me open for Christmas to read all of my complete trash Christmas romances for the rest of the year, because that's what I'm feeling. So these 2 are going to be read today, as well as my Harry Potter. I'm going to listen to an audiobook and follow along with the illustrations. I'll come back to you a bit later and show you my new hairdo, and yeah, I'll speak to you in a minute. So here it is, my new haircut. I'm really loving it. It's much shorter than it was before, although you may not recognise that because I always wear it up. But I love what she's done. She's put a bit of a wave in it now, but it's got a nice layer to it. And yeah, I'm just really really pleased with it. It feels so much lighter and in so much better condition. I also love it with a little bit of a headband, so I'm super pleased with it. And yeah, so that is the haircut. But when I got home, I was surprised by my reposed book box, so I'm going to show you the book I got with that. And also I bought a book while I was out, because you know, no self-control at all. So the book that came in the book box is by Jhumpa Lahiri, and it is The Namesake. I don't think I've read this. It says, Gogol was named in haste after his father's favourite author. Growing up in an Indian family in suburban America, he finds himself yearning to cast off his awkward name, and with it the inherited values it represents. Determined to live a life far removed from that of his parents, Gogol sets off on his own path, only to discover that the search for identity depends on much more than a name. I don't think I've read this, but we'll find out when I start reading. But yeah, I'm pleased. I haven't read Jhumpa Lahiri, I don't think. So it'll be nice to try. And then the book that I bought for myself is A Half-Baked Idea by Olivia Potts. I heard about this recently on someone's channel and I just thought it sounded really interesting. The sort of tagline is how grief, love and cake took me from the courtroom to cordon bleu. So this is Olivia's story of her mother got ill. I'm not sure if she died or she was just... I think she might have done, and she decided that she wanted to leave the bar and she wanted to go to the cordon bleu, and she wanted to learn you know, cordon bleu cooking. It says she enrolled on the Diplôme de Pâtisserie at Le Cordon Bleu, and this is sort of the story, and I think there's sort of recipes in here, and it talks about sort of this search for a happier life and doing what you love. And yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one. I can't wait. So how exciting. New hair, new books. So I'm off to edit this, and I'll share it with you very soon. Bye for now, BookTube.